This is the video for Lesson 3, Addition and Subtraction Word Problems, the written practice, numbers 1 through 30. So the first 6 problems actually go along with the lesson, addition, subtraction, word problems, and it says that we are to identify the plot, meaning separating, combining, or comparing, write an equation, and solve the problem. So the first problem says, the 7th grade winner ran the mile in 5 minutes and 8 seconds. The 8th grade winner ran the mile in 4 minutes and 55 seconds. How many more seconds did it take for the 7th grade winner to run a mile? So since it says how many more seconds, that's our clue that we are comparing, so that's our plot. And when we're comparing, we take the greater number, which is 5 minutes, 8 seconds. And we subtract the lesser number, which is 4 minutes, 55 seconds. And that gives us our D, which is our difference. So now we just need to solve this. So the easiest way is to just count up from 4 minutes 55 seconds up to 5 minutes 8 seconds. So 4 minutes 55 seconds after 5 seconds would get me to 5 minutes, and then 8 more seconds would get me to 5 minutes 8 seconds. So 5 plus 8 is 13 seconds. The other way that we could have done it would be to convert both of them to seconds. So the 5 minutes would be 5 times 6 is 5 times 60 is 300. So 308 seconds, and then 4 times 60 is 240 plus 55, so 295. And then you'd subtract those two numbers. But like I said, the easiest way is to just recognize them as times and count up. Number 2 says, Lori, Moesha, and Carrie went to the mall. Lori spent $20, Moesha spent $25, and Carrie spent $30. How much did they spend in all? This is a combining problem because they're talking about spending in all, and they all have different parts. So the plot for this is combining. We're combining how much they spent to find out how much they spent in all. So when we use a combining problem, we take sum, and then we add more. And in this case, we're going to add more on top of that to get the total. So sum is Lori's, $20. Some more is Moesha's, $25. And some more is Carrie's, $30. And that's going to be our total, T. And in this case, it's pretty simple to solve. 20 plus 25 is 45, plus 30 is 75. Carl bought a foot-long sandwich. After he cut off a piece for his friend, his sandwich was 8 inches long. How much did he cut off for his friend? So this one is a separating one. Basically, if you picture Carl, he separated his sandwich into 2 pieces, and we want to know how much was in each piece and how much is left in the end. So when you're doing a separating problem, you start with the amount you started with, which for Carl was 1 foot of sandwich, and then you subtract off how much he gave the person, so some went away, and the book uses the letter away. We don't know how much went away yet, so A, and then what's left is 8 inches. So here, since we ended with inches but started with feet, in part of our solution, we're going to want to convert the 1 foot into inches as well so that we can go from there. So we know that 1 foot is 12 inches minus whatever he gave his friend gave us 8 inches. So if you think about it, 12 minus what is going to give you 8? Well, if you count down from 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, so that's 4. So he gave his friend 4 inches of sandwich. Irina and her sister put their money together to buy a gift. Irina contributed $15. Together, they spent $32. How much did Irina's sister contribute? So this one's a combining one. They put their money together. That's your clue. So our plot is combining. And when we combine things, we have sum plus more gives us the total. So Irina's is sum. Her sister's is more. We don't know what that is yet. And that equals the total of $32. So then we have to think, well, how do I get 15 plus something to equal 32? Well, you can count up from 15 to get to 32, or you could subtract 15 from 32. Either way, you would find out that Irina's sister gave 17. Last week, Benji read 123 pages. This week, Benji read 132 pages. How many more pages did Benji read this week than last week? So I see the word more. I'm comparing this week to last week, so my plot is comparing. When I compare, I take the greater number, 132, minus the lesser number, 123, and that's going to give me my difference. Well, 132 minus 123 is 9, and this is in pages. And the last of those word problems, Anli's mother bought a dozen eggs. Anli ate 2 eggs on her salad. How many eggs are left? So this one's a separating one. We had a dozen eggs to start with. We took some away, and then there's some left. So we have separating. And when we do a separating problem, we have what we started with, 1 dozen, minus what we took away, the 2 that Anli ate, and then that equals what's left. And we're not sure what's left yet. So a dozen eggs and 2 eggs. And here again, just like when we were doing the feet and inches, we need to tell what a dozen eggs means. Well, that means 12 eggs minus 2 eggs means there's 10 eggs left.